great to see you. A 4-1 win, how does that sit with you guys today?
Yeah, it's a good result, especially after the last game. Coming back home in front of our home fans, it's good to get a win.
Yeah, and credit for the spin on it, Omari. That's what I'd say. Going through the defence there. And Dennis Cooker, we've just been speaking to him and saying how important that goal was just after half time. What were your feelings?
Yeah, came in at half time and got into us a bit and said we've got a lot more to give. A few instructions on what we can do to hurt them second half and how to do it. And luckily, within the first minute or so, was it, managed to get in behind and then seeing Tanner there. And he's put it in the back of the net, and that just calms it straight back down again. Second half, 2-1, allows us to then actually grow into the second half, even with that one goal advantage, and they have to come out. And then we've managed to get number 3 and number 4, and that's our game, and we've put them to bed.
It felt like you drew the sting out of them towards the end as well. I mean, your fitness looks superb in comparison to the team you were playing today.
Yeah. I think we was in control of the ball more, so we was moving them more, so we had more energy. They was running around, and the longer the game went on, the more tired they got, the more spaces we had, and we had players like Don Polion, who has got pace to burn, Darren McQueen, he's lightning, and they was just exploiting spaces, and it was just, on another day, probably could have been more. With no disrespect, it probably could have been more, should have been more, but we got the win, that's what's important.
Combination between you and Luke O'Neill on this side as well. You seem to have that sort of telepathic understanding where you, as soon as he's receiving the ball, you're going off the back of the fullback down this right hand side.
Yeah, sometimes you play to your partner's strengths, and he likes to play the ball in behind or hit diags and stuff, so sometimes I'll do it, or Darren, when he comes on, Darren does it, and sometimes you get a little combination of coming short sometimes, or can you go long, and it's just finding a balance sometimes, and it's working. It's still early in the season, so we've got a long way to go. Just got to keep building on it.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously you've had sort of win defeat at the moment, but you're up into 5th with this win today. Is it about finding consistency? Is it about finding your level perhaps in this division?
Finding consistency and still, we're not as, say, we can always get better. So we're only 7 games into the season, so the season's still new. We've still got a lot more that we can build and get to, and if we're 5th in the league and it hasn't fully clicked yet, you can only imagine what level we can get to when we get there. So when we're still finding our feet, it's good to still get 3 points, and we're not losing games all the time, so it's good to get wins.
This performance looks like there's a really good understanding with this team, and I mean, I guess the way that Dennis sets his teams out, you know exactly how you're going to play against your opponents. I know there'll be tactical tweaks, but it does feel like you're all really well bedded into that system.
Yeah, he's instilled. We've got a majority of players still from last year, so the core of understanding how he wants to play is still there. Getting the newer boys into it as well, and then in terms of how we want to play it this season, just making sure that we get his ideas on board, and just making sure that everyone's on the same page out there at the time, wherever the ball is, just trying to see the pictures that he wants us to create and just implementing it. And I would say majority of it is coming out, so because we're scoring goals, we haven't really struggled to score goals this season, so as long as we're doing that, we've got a chance.
I know it's early days, but do you see yourself being able to fight at the top of the table for the rest of the season?
Don't see why not. As long as we're a threat scoring goals and we can stop goals going in, then I see why not. No reason why we can't. I wouldn't have the fear that we shouldn't be able to. Got to keep taking every game as it goes and see where that puts us.
And Wheelstone next weekend, I think Dennis is saying after that you've got a lot of games in a short period of time. What does a rest for you guys mean at this time of the season, being able to get that sort of, that 7 days between games?
It's a good thing, because then you can actually get resting after the game without straight away having to come in the next day and train and getting ready. So when it's that Saturday, Monday we played,
that must be tough.
That was tough. that was tough for the boys. I felt for them, and that I was out at that point injured, so it was tough for them. But September's going to be a crazy month again. There was a lot of games in August, thinking about it, and I think there's more this month. So it's just getting your recovery and making sure you do things right, and then going again.
You certainly did things right today. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Omari, Stering-James, the absolute winger, joining us after the